Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutations to all my fellow laborers, the Akim that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the confusion of faith that are joined unto our ranks. To the hopeful elect, the Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you I say shalom. Disclaimer, we are the Hebrew Israelites, the biblical bloodline of the Hebrew Israelites that are written about in the Bible, which is easily proven by the relics, by the history, by the scriptures themselves. We are not associated with any black denominated group or organization, right? We're quite simply the Hebrew Israelites, was a dark melanated group of people, all right? The chosen people of the Lord, consisting mainly of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our confusion of faith scattered brethren among the heathen nations. All right, that in the last days the Lord is going to gather up out of the heathen nations. So this isn't a black thing. This is a Hebrew Israelite thing, and all of them aren't going to look so-called black. All right, although truthfully they started off that way. Okay, but through the scattering around the world for many generations, the look have changed. All right, so this isn't a black thing. All right, with that being said and done, this is live footage from Madison's, from Midtown Manhattan. All right, in Times Square. All right, and the title of this video is called "The Three Classes of Men." As a subscriber, that I believe he was sincere about asking. I guess I mentioned the three classes of men in a video, and he asked me about that, so I'm going to use the scriptures to solidify to back up my statement. I believe it was the elder apostle Gabar, very many years ago, did a lesson on this, and I just remember really keying in and taking notes and learning about it. So I'm going to edify on that, and I'm going to start with the wicked. All right, so the wicked being the first class of men that I'm going to talk about, and the wicked is Esau, Edom. All right, and that race that are walking around on earth today is the so-called white man. All right, Esau, Edom refers to themselves as Caucasian or white this day. As a matter of fact, that terminology white they begin to use first in 1681 in Virginia. It's the first time anywhere in the history of mankind that there was any documentation where it was referred to as a group of people referred to as white. They labeled themselves white, just as they labeled Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans black. There's and also in the 1600s in Virginia, Negroes and Latinos were both Negroes and Native Americans were both considered black. All right, in 1683, you can look it up. All right, and before Esau, Edom changed the bloodline of the so-called natives, many of them were. You really couldn't tell the difference between them, except maybe the hair texture was a little different, but the skin complexions were very much alike. Okay. There are plenty of relics that are still around to prove what I said to be true. So let's begin with the book of Maccabees. No, actually I'm going to start with Job 9 and 24. So let's go to the book of Job. And it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" All right, so the Bible clearly tells you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and then it identifies who the wicked is. All right, and you also have to look at the history of Esau, Edom, and when they came into power. They came into power during the Renaissance. And Renaissance means rebirth. And who was it the rebirth of? It was the rebirth of Esau, Edom. That's who it was the rebirth of. The Edomites came back into power. All right. From that time, from basically from 1492 on up, when Christopher Columbus sailed the seas and came across the waters, and they began to push that image of Cesare Borgia, which became the new poster boy for Jesus Christ, which was the new face for Serapis. So there you go. When Cesare Borgia's image began to be pushed around the four corners of the earth, is basically the beginning of the whitewashing of history. They went all throughout Europe, you know, to destroy the images, knock the noses and the lips off of all the dark images of the people who look so-called Negroid and that sort of thing. But there was so many, they couldn't even destroy them all. And even on some of the paintings where they used chemicals to remove the color and repaint blonde hair and that sort of thing over some of the paintings, if you look in the corners, you can still see the dark features. You know, they would leave out like the knuckles or the knees, the feet. You know, you'd see this person who's pale and all of a sudden their feet were dark, or the knees or the elbow joints. You know, the parts where the chemicals couldn't fully take away all the color. So they did this sort of thing. It's called iconoclasm. All right, destruction of the icons. Okay. So let's go into the book of Maccabees now. Okay, when Esau Edom first came into power, why Job 9:24 was their rebirth? You know, starting with the Renaissance, because they had dominion over the earth before. All right, via the Grecian and the Roman Empire, and then they fell, they were wounded, and they came back into power again. All right, fulfilling prophecy. But this is First Maccabees, the first chapter, and it reads, and it happened after Alexander the son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius the Persians, the Medes, that he had reigned first in his stead, the first over Greece. So Alexander came from a different stead. He came from the stead of the Edomites, and you can trace Alexander back to Amalek, who was the son of Edom. Okay. Alexander can be traced back in the Bible back to the Edomites. So there's no argument that the so-called white man is Esau Edom. Their most honored forefather, Alexander the Greek, his lineage goes right back to Esau Edom. All right there in the Bible. Hence one of the reasons why they tried to, the Bible Destruction Group, remove the Apocrypha from the Bible, because it gave up that information. All right. So let's go to verse 7 in First Maccabees. All right, the first chapter. And it says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. His 4 generals, which he had parted rulership over the known world between them. All right, which was Northern Africa, Europe, and some parts of Asia. Okay, which is basically the old world. All right, and it says, and after his death, they all put on crowns. They all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. All right, so wickedness, evil came into the earth. All right, when Esau Edom came into rulership. When they got control over the old world, evils came into the earth. All right. Verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surname Epiphanes. So the Grecian Empire continued on its evil path through Antiochus, and then all the events that happened in the Maccabees can be found in secular history and encyclopedias. I've done the research. You can match up the stories in the Maccabees right with secular history. You can look up in the encyclopedias and find all this information, man. All the different Caesars, the Grecian rulers, the wars between the Maccabees and the Grecians, them joining on to Rome, and then Rome trading on them. All these things that happened are found in secular history, so it's undeniable. Okay, and then through the Renaissance, these very same Edomites came back into power. So That's your first class of people, okay? Which was the wicked. Now let's go to the second class of people, which can be found in Genesis the 10th chapter. Quite simply, quite frankly, the sons of men, the other nations, the heathens, the Gentiles. All right, which simply just means, you know, non-Israelite for that matter. Okay, when it reads about in Generation chapter 10, it says, "Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood." Okay, and then as you begin to read into that, it breaks down the sons of Japheth, it breaks down the sons of Shem, and it breaks down the sons of Canaan. All right, and then out of Shem came the chosen people, but all the other Shemites, all the other Shemitic people, outside of the Israelites, were heathens, the other nations. Quite simply, quite frankly. Now, let me turn around, close this door behind me. Salakia. So those are your sons of men. All the other nations, all right, outside of so Edom is the sons of the wicked, and all the other heathens that are non-Israelites are the sons of men.